Welcome to No Nonsense November Day 10. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And today we are going to talk about the EGS, which is your GPS. EGS stands for Emotional Guidance System. And just like a GPS or another navigation system for your car or for getting around, now we all have them on our cell phones. There's location devices and mapping and directions, and we can get anywhere because there's a GPS built into our phones that helps us get from point A to point B. Well, our emotional guidance system is what helps us get personally from point A to point B, emotionally, spiritually, and whatever other way we want to describe it. But it's how we navigate our life. And tomorrow we'll talk about how emotions and feelings tie in with the other aspects of our being. But today we want to talk about the scale and the guidance system. I first learned about this, and I'd always heard that emotions play a big part in our reactions. Like everybody else, I grew up believing that I just felt the way I felt because I was exposed to different experiences, and I just automatically would feel that way, and there really wasn't much I could do about it. I just would experience it. I mean, there's a reason my family used to tell me to pop the cork when I was a little girl, because I would get a little bit explosive as a child. I'd get angry and upset, and I felt a lot of stuff, and I wasn't very good at hiding it or not or keeping it in. So they would say pop the cork, which was their way of helping me to learn how to control my little, not tantrumy, but my little angry or frustrated outbursts when I was a little girl. And it wasn't until I heard it from Tony Robbins, I heard it from Jim Rohn, I heard it from other motivational speakers, the power of emotions and how emotions interact with other things. But it wasn't until I watched the movie The Secret that I heard a couple of times the phrase emotional guidance system. And I didn't really know what it was. I didn't get it because I'd never heard of that term before. And I started to research it and Google it. And I was led to the book by Abraham Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham, and Esther and Jerry Hicks, called Ask and It Is Given. And in that book, they do an incredible job. And I don't have my book. I lent it to my daughter, and it's in Colorado right now. But she calls out, and I want you to Google this. I'm actually going to share a graphic in the comments below today because I don't have a printer right now, and so I couldn't print it out and show you. And even if I did, it would appear backwards, so it would look like a backwards spiral. But there's two graphics I really like. One is a graphic colored representation of the emotional guidance system, and the other is a grid, because I'm a nerdy engineer and I love grids and things that help me. But the emotional guidance system is tied to 22 different processes and tools that they teach in the book Ask and It Is Given that can address a combination of any of the emotions that we're experiencing. So basically it's a scale of all of our emotions, you know, from the most positive, highest frequency emotions down to the most heavy, lowest frequency emotions, and how we feel them. And the overall concept is that we always want to be reaching for a better feeling, right? A lighter, happier, better feeling, no matter what. So if I'm lost my job and I'm really angry and I'm really upset and I'm freaking out about something, I don't have to get all the way to the top to be joyful and happy and ecstatic about losing my job. I just have to get to the point where I am feeling slightly better about the situation. And then that will help me to climb up the stairs or the spiral of better and better and better feelings, which, guess what? If we want to get anything that we want, we have to feel good about it. If we feel bad about something, guess what? We might get it, but it's not going to be what we want, right? If we think and fixate and focus on something that we don't want, guess what's going to happen? That's exactly what's going to happen in our lives. You don't have to take my word for it. Just test this one out on yourself. Think back to a situation where something bad happened in your life that you absolutely positively never would have consciously chosen or wanted, but it happened anyway. And then if you can, try to think about, what were you thinking about? What were you feeling before that happened? The biggest example of this in my particular life, or my personal life, has been in the area of my health. I had a sudden cardiac arrest and literally died about 10 years ago now. And if I did this exercise where I thought, and I didn't reenact, but I went back to and thought about, what was I thinking about? What was I feeling? How was I experiencing my life right before that happened? And guess what? It wasn't pretty, right? I was thinking about all of the things I didn't want. I was thinking that I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what to do next. I didn't know where I was going to turn. And I was literally in my emotions. I was like in this state of high frenzied. I'm freaking out about all these different things because it wasn't just one area or aspect of my life that was challenging me at the time. It was, I would say, almost all of them. Almost every area of my life was exploding simultaneously. And because of that, I was over and over and over again thinking and believing and feeling just this emergency freaked out state, and that triggered the electric malfunction of my heart and my sudden cardiac arrest. And it could have been gonzo, but luckily I happened to decide I was going to end or croak right in the middle of a place where the people could help me. There were people that knew CPR, so I'm here to talking about it today. So what is this emotional guidance system? Okay, it's just a list. I'm going to show you my handwritten messy version of it and grab a magnifying glass and see if I can see any of it. But there's 7 levels of positive upward spiral emotions, which I find this interesting. And there are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 7 is 22. There's 15 levels of negative, or neutral is 1, or negative emotions. So what does that tell you? It's a lot easier for us as human beings to think and focus on the negative than it is the positive. And so we have to actually intend to be moving ourselves up this ladder and this spiral and this guidance system all the time. So I'm going to share in the comments below, but it goes anywhere. And the reason there's different levels, and there's really more emotions than that, right? You're thinking, all right, well, I feel a lot more than 22 emotions in any given hour, much less are there only 22 emotions. And it's just the way it was broken down by the book Ask and It Is Given. And so everybody's adopted and uses this emotional guidance system scale. And again, the graphics and the things. But what I like best about it, the emotions go from, I can't see them, joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and I don't know, I have no idea what it says. Then passion, enthusiasm, positive expectations, belief, optimism, hopefulness, contentment. Those are all considered the lighter positive emotions. Then we go to 8, which is like the switch to the downward spiral. Boredom, pessimism, frustration, irritation, impatience. Boy, I used to live there a lot. Overwhelmment, there I lived a while too. Disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, rage, jealousy, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, fear, grief, depression, victim, powerlessness. So at any given moment, we can find ourselves on that scale and we can say, okay, I am worried about this. I am really worried about my kids, or I'm worried about my financial situation because I just, COVID's really impacted my ability to make a living, or my immediate income. Well, in order to feel better, I don't have to go all the way, and it's really hard to jump all the way from worry to enthusiasm, right? That's a pretty big leap. It's possible, but it's really, really hard. So I don't have to help myself to go from worry to enthusiasm, which is like the 3rd level on the scale, from 14 to 3. I just have to go up one thing at a time. So maybe if I just doubt, or if I just start to ask questions and doubt about my worry, okay, well, maybe I don't have to worry that much about my job because I'll find another job, or I'll find another source of income, or I have money in the bank, or whatever. But instead of feeling worried, you just start to say, well, I doubt that that's going to be forever. Yeah, that's my situation right this instant, but it's not going to be forever. So I just have to start to move up the scale a little bit by a little bit. And in Ask and It Is Given, I would say I would recommend that book. It is woo-woo for a lot of people, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have absolutely positive, amazing, valuable tools in it that you can use right now. For example, there are 22 tools that they teach you how to use in the book Ask and It Is Given. And that's why I want to share the grid with you of the different tools that you can use to feel more of level 1, love, freedom, contentment, things like that. And so for each of the emotional levels, all 22, there's a grid that matches up to these 22 different tools that you can use. I'm just going to read them quickly so you get an idea of what they entail. Rampage of Appreciation, Magic Creation Box, Creative Workshop, Virtual Reality, Prosperity Game, Process of Meditation, Evaluating Dreams, Book of Positive Aspects, Scripting, Placemat Process, Segment Intending, Wouldn't It Be Nice, ... if, or wouldn't it be nice if ... Which thought feels better, Process of Clearing Clutter for Clarity, the Wallet Process, Pivoting, which is really important right now, the Focus Wheel Process, Finding the Feeling Place, Releasing Resistance to Become Free of Debt, Turning It Over to the Manager, I love that one, Reaching for Natural State of Health, and Moving Up the Emotional Scale. Also, there's an entire book that they write about getting into the vortex, and that's a whole nother tool instead of tools that you can use as well. But it just goes to show you that our emotional guidance system, we all have it. Everybody's got emotions, right? Anybody that feels no emotions, go ahead, hit me up in the comments below, and we'll have a chat, a one-on-one chat. But for the most part, we all experience emotions, and this is a way to go from letting our emotions automatically just control us and go willy-nilly into the world and say, oh, well, whatever happens, happens, to actually moving toward what we want on purpose. Now, tomorrow we'll talk about how that all ties together with how we get results. How do we get from emotions to results, right? We all think we make decisions and choices based on our intellect. Absolutely not. We make our decisions and choices first based on our emotions and our feelings about something, and then we justify it with reason and intellect and objective quantification of why something is such a good idea for us to do or not do. So, emotional guidance system, love to know your experience with this. Do you listen and tap into your emotional guidance system? Have you worked with just the Better Feeling or any of the other tools by Abraham Hicks? Love to know that. Share in the comments below. Questions, ask in the comments below, please, because sometimes I get so excited about these tools. I've used them for a long time. I think other people come from the same level of understanding, and we don't. We all come from different levels of understanding. Go out, make it an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow with another fun tool of the day for our No Nonsense November. Because if we have a bunch of tools that we can put in our toolbox and call upon, given any situation, we're guaranteed to be better off after we deal with the situation than before we entered that situation. Get Up and Go Challenge, December 1st through 31st. I'm excited. It'll be our 5th one this year, our 5th 30-day challenge this year. And we teach a framework, the SOAP framework. The SOAP framework. And we use SOAP to clean up and guarantee that we are better off after any challenge or change than before we experienced it. Have an awesome day. I'll be with you tomorrow. Bye.